Welcome back, Aces, to another episode of Interesting Maneuvers. In this episode, we're going to recap Wave 8 with our favorite pilot, upgrade card, box, and ship.
Who would like to start?
I'll start. I think my favorite pilot has to be Zuckuss. I mean, being able to take an extra attack die on his attack, and then I think throwing a hotshot blaster on him and getting the same ability off, I think is a really solid 1-2 punch. And I think he's my favorite pilot. I really like being able to add attack dice onto your attacks, and I think throwing an extra evade dice on somebody for it, I don't really see a downside to taking an extra attack die for an extra defense die. I think it's really good. I think he's a really solid pilot. He's got a lot of really good upgrades that can go on him, and I think he's extremely versatile and fairly cheap. So I think he has to be my favorite.
Well, my favorite pilot is Sabine for the attack shuttle. I think she's a better, BB-8. So you can put PTL and then Kanan Jarrus and do all sorts of things and get basically 3 actions in a single turn while having a wide array of maneuvers to do. I think the fact that she can take a TLT means that she can arc dodge in TLT. It's 3 attack dice, really, really strong. Little weak on the 2 hull 2 shield, but it should be just survivable enough, especially if you combine her and stick her onto the ghost for some 16 hull or 16 hit point shielding, and then I think and I'm especially eager to combine her with Blue Ace, so I have throwable ships that go everywhere.
My favorite pilot is also Zuckuss out of this wave. I think the combination of his ability, there are very rare times when you wouldn't want someone to have extra defense dice. Fell comes to mind, or some of the other really badass evasive guys. But, a Y-Wing, even a Decimator, to get 4 dice versus it's 1 or 2, that's a no-brainer. Combined with his high pilot skill and cheap cost is, I think, out of this wave, he's my favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to throw my hat into the Zuckuss ring as well. The attack die bonus is huge. The G1A Starfighter just has a fantastic set of upgrades and slots it can take. The extra attack die is great, especially when you couple it with the Ion Tractor Beam. Him being high pilot skill, you can put your opponents in bad places or set up huge damage combos. But definitely throwing in for Zuckuss.
So what's your favorite ship?
My favorite ship? I think, just in general, my favorite ship out of this might be the TIE Advanced prototype. I think it's an interesting thing for the Imperials to have. It's kind of a, like I said earlier in one of the earlier videos, it's kind of a hybrid of the TIE Advanced X1, the TIE Interceptor, and the A-Wing. I think it has a lot of neat tricks it can do. It's dirt cheap. Definitely go with my favorite ship being the prototype. Sam, what's your favorite ship?
You guys are stealing my thunder here. The prototype is also my favorite ship.
You should have said it one of the ends.
I guess I should have. Just the way it looks is, it's awesome. It's another variant of the TIE Fighter, which I am a huge fan of. Big Imperial player. It's got one of the best dials out there. The actions on its bar are all great. Any of the pilots are good. And, that's about it. In terms of strictly ship without any upgrades, that's my favorite.
I think mine, I'm really torn, but I have to come down and say it's the Jumpmaster 5000, because I think that all of the pilots are good. All of the pilots have so many different, varied, interesting, and different ways of running them. The dial is super cool, and you just have so many different options. It's just so varied. So just as a single ship, you can do so many different things with it. I think I like that the most, and especially with a big ship that can barrel roll. It's super maneuverable. I just really like the as a ship, I like the Jumpmaster.
Yeah, I think my favorite ship's the Jumpmaster also. I think I like the way it looks. I really like it. And I think it adds the most out of all of the other ships in this wave. It adds the most for the Scum faction. I mean, being the first big turreted ship for the faction, and it's extremely versatile. I think that one has to be my favorite, hands down. As far as upgrade goes, I think my favorite upgrade is guidance chips, just because 0-point upgrade, it really opens up a lot of the cheap, low pilot skill guys to just take a munition, go and just be a one-shot wonder, and actually be able to do something with munitions, and really trying to make munitions a bigger part of the game. I think guidance chips is my favorite upgrade.
I think for me it's got to be Gonk. The ability for Scum to have a recharge option is pretty good. Gonk is amazing.
Well, Gonk is also my favorite upgrade from this wave.
You don't get to have unique choices.
I guess not. I usually like to take ships with lower agility value, as these guys can attest to. My defense dice are terrible.
Laughably so.
Yes. So being able to recover shields on those low upgrade ships, or low agility ships, it really lets them stay around longer. And, for me, there's a couple rebels that can do it, and that's what I've been playing recently, and now to be able to incorporate that into my Scum list, I think it's going to bring a lot of value to some of those ships, especially ones that already have high shield values.
Oh, sorry. My favorite upgrade from this, I was torn. I like Gonk. I like Rage. I like Guidance Chips, but I have to go with a Tiny Mind Link, just for the sheer combo potential. And unlike a lot of the other combos in this game, it's not dependent on a single ship. It's just, as long as you have more than one ship with a Tiny Mind Link, your combo works. So it's not like Garvin Dre's where you need to have Garvin alive, or Aaron Cracker and you need Aaron alive, or Youngster. So it's a really solid passive combo. Like I said, I'm going to work it into my Brobots list, I think. It might edge out Crackshot, which I think just gives you this huge offensive and defensive punch, especially on the turns where you sloop or you need to escape with one of them. So that's going to be my go-to upgrade. So looking at just the products as a whole, I think my favorite boxed set out of this has to be the Punishing one. You get the Jumpmaster, which Brian and Ethan agree with being the best ship in terms of flexibility. It looks cool. It's a big ship with a turret, which Scum needs. But as a product, you get Gonk, you get a Tiny Mind Link, you get Guidance Chips, you get everything that I love about Wave 8 in one box. So I stole your thunder again, didn't I?
I know you did, but that's okay. Like Matt said, the Punishing one comes with all of the top upgrades. It's got Gonk, it's got Boba Fett, it's got Dengar.
I forgot about Boba Fett.
It's got a Tiny Mind Link and Rage. It's got some Guidance Chips to pass around to some of those lower pilot skill guys. The ship itself is great. Well, the prototype was my favorite. That is my second favorite, is the Jumpmaster. It is a great box, all in all.
I think Froome was just reading from your list.
He might have been. I had to write a list because I'm forgetful.
I think my favorite box has to be the Ghost. It comes with 2 ships, which makes it the best value. It has, like, all of the pilots are really cool and really interesting, and they do things. The Ghost ship itself, it's really, really strong. It's not quite as versatile as the Jumpmaster, but it's almost as versatile. The Attack Shuttle is a really cool new ship for the Rebels. It changes things up. And most importantly, you get the crew guys. And they fit into so many different lists. Hera, Ezra, Kanan, Sabine, Zeb, all fantastic crew. Chopper is amazing. I think you've got so many different cool crew right there. It makes so many different Rebel lists that you've seen before. It changes them and it makes them better and different. I think that in terms of box, the Ghost has to be the best one.
Yeah, and then with Sam and Matt, I think the Punishing one. Yep.
Let's get squad conformity here.
Right? Got that right.
No, the Punishing one is just huge. It adds so much for the Scum faction. It's I think easily the best. I mean, Ghost is a solid second. I mean, there's just so many good things that Rebels not necessarily needed, but it really expands the scope. But I think the Punishing one does more for Scum than what the Ghost does for Rebels. And I think Matt pinged it best. This is probably one of the best waves that we've seen.
Yeah, I'm going to go with this bold statement that Wave 8 is probably the most complete, best, quite possibly ranking for one of the most long-lived waves for this game, probably since Wave 2. In Wave 2 we saw Slave 1, Millennium Falcon, A-Wing, TIE Interceptor. Granted, a couple of those did get a lot of help from the Imperial and Rebel Aces expansions, but you still see Falcons, you still see Fire Sprays, you still see Interceptors, you still see A-Wings. Wave 5 also had some big stuff in there, a little bit of a shake-up, but just since then I don't think we've seen something as influential. I mean, we have to keep Scum aside since it's an entire faction with Wave 6, but I think this is probably one of the best product launches for this game in years. So
yeah. So let us know what your thoughts are, guys. Leave a comment what you think the favorite ship is, what your favorite upgrades are, what you think your favorite box set is, and which pilot you guys are looking forward to using the most. If you've got a particular build that you want to see in one of our battle reports, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button.
Also, be sure to look out for us at the Hoth Open coming up in, 2 weeks at Adepticon in Chicago. We'll be there. We'll be flying all sorts of weird things, making interesting maneuvers. So if you see us, be sure to flag us down.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see you guys there, and thanks for watching.
I forget what we're calling this thing.
Interesting maneuvers.